question here is going to be on a scale of 1 to 10, Bradley. How likely are you to recommend real automation to somebody?
Yeah, 10, easy. I don't, I would say the majority of individuals in my field, in my area, they're not professional, so they're probably not looking. They
hmm
probably would never consider it.
hmm
Yeah, beyond that, absolutely.
Yeah, and how's your experience been, in the last month with us since TCI? How's your experience been?
Yeah, so it's been good. The highlight of everything that I think highlighter at the end of the week is not your all's failure, but my internal systems failure. Where it's like, man, I really I need to have a process. Like it goes from this to I'm responding, at this set
Mhm.
date and time or whatever
Yeah,
to push it down the pipeline,
I will say,
and that's where I fail, and that's where the system fails is not on you, it's on me. And
Mhm.
so it's even helpful in that sense because without it to highlight that, I it would be easy not to recognize. You just don't know what all you're missing, whereas at least
Right.
here it's like, oh yeah, I've got these 12 things I haven't done in the last 2 weeks, and that's because I have all these other things yelling at me. I have this equipment broke down, I have this guy sick, I have this job, I have this client that I'm dealing with. And then it's like, I mean, there was success in the point of contact, and then there was a failure post that and follow up. And where was that? Like that's something I've got to change, either by system or by role somehow. I can't expect you guys to fix everything for me, but
Mhm.
I will accept whatever things you can fix for me.
So if we turn this off tomorrow, what would happen for you, do you think?
uh, I would still answer as few calls as what I do now, which means that, like when I say that, me personally, so I would answer
hmm
personally as few calls that come in as what I do now, which means instead of 12 hangups that are probably very likely to be marketing scams type calls and 3 leads that I'm like, at least that's a person with an address,
hmm
that I need to call back, and I'm maybe failing or not failing. I would have 15 calls and that I don't know from Adam. They may leave me a voicemail, which I'm terrible about following up on to even know what it is. And so they're like, well, I left a voicemail.
hmm
It's like, I have voicemails that are older than 3 of your grandchildren, like, that I don't know what, like, cause my tendency is if I like it now, if I knew it was a client, like I know it's a person, I see that missed call and I've already made that connection in the past. I'm like, hey, that's Jimmy and
Yeah.
I know his trees. Then I would, I'd probably take the call,
hmm
or I'd be like, oh, I saw Jimmy called and he left a voicemail. Well, I don't listen to the voicemail. I just call Jimmy back, and I'm like,
Right.
hey, I saw I missed your call, and I'm sorry. What's up? And then he
hmm
regurgitates everything, and I probably still have a tendency to do that with the AI as well. Like, hey, like reconnecting everything. But at least I've already got that first system, those first tiers all figured out.
Right. So do you think this is better than a voicemail?
Yes.
You would say William is better at, handling. You say William's probably better at handling customers and basically being a better, smarter voicemail.
Yes, I'm excited about that too. And I have a really cool story, specifically with your system, that I do have a client that's like, oh, I don't want to talk to, and I mean, while we're talking right now, we've got something coming in, and Forrest is picking it up, or William is picking it up. So that is being received. Whereas before, I mean, and I would honestly, like, when I had an active employee working, that's what I saw as much annoyance as anything. Is he can be dialoguing with the customer like in the middle of it, and his brain's going, he's typing whatever notes based off of what they're saying, he's getting it scheduled, all of those things. But then a phone call comes in and he's like, I mean, right in the middle of it. And so, like, it's distracting and it's
Yeah.
difficult. Whereas in this case, Forrest is receiving it, or William is receiving it, and we're going from there. And so, yeah, I still have a task to go and follow up, but at least I know it's not just hanging out. You know what I mean? It's just a drop deal because
Right.
I don't come back to it. I know
Yeah.
there's at least that initial something's happened.
You're not picking one or the other. You're not
Right.
favoring a customer. You're actually giving everyone a more equal experience because, I mean, let's be honest, at least from what we see, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this, that main like rapport and point of contact is built not in that first phone call, but it's the follow-up and the quote and the estimate.
Mm.
That's where you really
Yeah.
keep the customer. If someone's got a tree in their house, they're going to call the person who's going to give them a quote right away.
Like you said, tree on a house, man, being able to like even say like, here's the rate sheet. for whatever equipment, sign the contract, and we're active. Like
Yeah.
that's a huge piece in emergency work for sure. Because straight lines come through. I'm not going to just have one client that I'm trying to deal with. Man, talk about like a force multiplier is if you guys are able to repair something like that, and then like there be some of those things already happening where it's so I've got like there's 70 households with trees on their homes in my response area or whatever. Man, it is first come first serve on the contract, and there's only so many people that do the work. There's me, and so there's a point where it's like, especially if it's in my place, and it's like, hey, yes, I'm dealing with this first one that called me and got a hold of me. I've got the trucks already rolling. I've got the trucks on site. As soon as the emergency is averted, then we're going to the next contract that's signed. And I am actively like, moving tons of weight with the grapple saw over the house and pulling
Yeah.
it off the house. I can't take a call right then. I mean, that's a perfect example of I cannot take a call. But if you guys are able to take the call and say, hey, please send pictures, I am sending you our rates, our emergency rates for equipment. We assure that we will always use the minimum amount of equipment to get the job done safely and efficiently for you.
Hmm.
But here is a list of all of our equipment, just so you know what potentially could be coming on site.
Right.
Here is a contract to agree to these rates on emergency rates for this equipment. If you sign the contract, you're next in line, type of a deal. That's huge.
It's a good idea, actually.
Huge, 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 huge.
Because we could,
Because basically what's happening is you guys are responding, like you are receiving that data and you are providing this spin out, which I already have created. I just don't have the time to take the call or even send it to them. You're doing that. And while I'm working on one, the next 5 get lined up, and we're just going to the next and the next. You talk about like that is a force multiplier, like tidal weight. You are Mighty Mouse punching up, man. Like that's pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I think you're going to love it. But to kind of wrap this up, I know you're busy. I want to ask you one more question, Bradley. Is William worth it?
Yes. So yes, and again, I mean, yeah, William, real AI is worth it. Your company's worth it. Your product's worth it. But you guys are well beyond that. I mean, like you guys are you're the best product is you guys. So I appreciate that. But that being said, specifically speaking about the product that you're selling and what you're creating with William, I had an interaction yesterday with the client. So I missed the call. I was with my family. So it wasn't one of these conflicts of you know, client versus client at the time. I'm with my family. I actually tried to answer the call because I knew who it was, but I didn't get to it in the 5 seconds. So it went to you guys. You all answer, you dialogue. I haven't even listened to that voicemail. I don't know what it sounded like. I just know, I knew the whole thing. So I just called him back afterwards. It was probably an hour later whenever I got to call him back. And he was like, "Hey, I hadn't seen the proposal yet that you were going to try to email. Just wanted to make sure that, everything was good. Don't think that we're not ready to pull the trigger because I just haven't seen the email." So sometimes there's that difficulty. They hardly ever use their email. Did the proposal actually go through? We didn't receive it. Just that confirmation process. And I was just like, I haven't had a chance to create it and send it to you yet. So we're all good, but I've got you scheduled, kind of a thing. And he's like, "Oh, okay, great." And I was driving, so the service wasn't the best. So it's kind of cutting in and out. But then I can hear as I'm about to hang up because we've disengaged the conversation. I hear, "Hey, Bradley," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry." And he said, "Man, your answering guy, like he's great." And I was like, I kind of, and I said, "Thank you," And I didn't have it just because of the hit and miss connectivity and everything. I didn't want to like have a long conversation over that, but it was clear that he was excited and he thought it was awesome. And when I do the work for him, when I come back and take this, it's a terrible deep decline tree that's going to be difficult to get. I mean, up against power lines. But when I go and do the work, I'll have some downtime and
Yeah.
I'll communicate with him and I'll ask him a couple questions and be like, thank you. Did you know that was AI? Like,
Yeah.
I'm really curious if he, I mean, granted, this is somebody that's not super technologically savvy, but he had a great experience. And I'm curious if that great experience was him in recognition that this is AI and man, he's really doing a great job. Or it was his excitement, like did he feel so engaged with this artificial system and responsiveness and dialogue that he's like, I really like this guy.
Yeah.
Like I'm just curious. But he was pumped. I mean, like I said, the phone conversation was done. I was about to push, and I just happened to hear, and so yes,
Yeah.
sir. And he was like, man, you're answering guys great.
You should let
I
me
mean, it was
know.
awesome.
Oh, you should let me know what he says. I'm really curious to hear from like an actual like a real like person who had that experience. I'm curious. You should let me know how that goes.
And I mean, I've got that recorded, so I depending on how all that goes, I may even be able to like I don't know, share that with you all, let you hear it, and then see from there. Maybe he's like, yeah, use that. I don't know, but
Well, I thank you badly. This has been insane for us. I seriously, you are just an amazing human. I wish we could work with more people like you. Seriously, people who just use their brain.